Hello and welcome to the finals of the Balance Patch, friendly, local, here at Balance Patch in Boston. I'm Jake, this is my lovely friend June, and we are bringing you a finals between Stefan and Jonathan.
Yep, we just got to see Jonathan on stream a couple times in a row in
Yes.
top 8 and in top 4, so should be very familiar with his team. You know, the Spathra baton passing into the Archaludon, the Politoed, and the Sylveon both with Psych Up, although I don't think we've seen the Sylveon at all
I haven't.
in this top cut, as well as, of course, that Mega Scovillain with the Moody ability that we were just talking about, Jake, on this side, how fair and balanced that ability is.
I mean, it's more fair and balanced than it ever was, which is to
that's
say
true.
that you can't get accuracy and evasion boosts anymore, which were the bane of our existence before you started
I was going to say,
playing.
the bane of y'all's existence.
Correct.
But on Stefan's side, I don't think we've seen him on stream at all today.
I have not.
To this point, he is running, as you can see on the left-hand side, that Mega Gengar with Perish Song available to it to go along with the Shadow Tag ability once it Mega Evolves. Also has the Dragonite. No Mega Evolution Stone on that one. It is just the Dragon Fang with Dragon Claw, Extreme Speed, Low Kick, and Protect. The Incineroar, Ninetales, Kingambit, and Sneasler. Important, Ninetales does have access to both Encore and Disable, two Fake-Out Pokemon surrounding the Gengar with Focus Sash on the Sneasler, and then Black Glass's Sword Stance Kingambit, because what's more fun than clicking a +2 Black Glass's Sucker Punch?
Yeah, and I'm just looking over this team because I haven't seen it all day. Some important shouts on the stat alignments of these Pokemon. This Gengar is timid, so it is going to be hitting a little less hard, moving a little faster than the average Gengar, you would think. Sneasler, if I'm reading that correctly, is naive, potentially lowering its bulk to get off the field faster. Or no, it's because it's holding the Focus Sash. So it wants to get down to its Focus Sash easier and get that on Burden Boost. So a good call there. And this Incineroar is relaxed.
Yeah, Incineroar just
Normal.
having a great time out in the rain with its friend Gengar as it's looking down this friendly little Politoed and that bridge.
Yeah, so normally we see Jonathan lead that Espathra and Scovillain. But in the face of a Mega Gengar, gonna be heavily dissuaded from doing so, especially with a Perish Song Gengar. You know, has a lot of opportunities to get messed up by that, as we are gonna see the Mega Gengar on turn 1, and the Incineroar just hard switch out to the Ninetales to reset the weather.
Yep, not going to allow this Archaludon to click anything like the Electro Shot on this turn. Perish Song coming out right away as Shadow Tag now active. No ways for either the Politoed or the Archaludon to switch out of the field as long as Gengar is on it. Weather Ball, now an Ice-type move into the Resist on the Ninetales, and it's going to be the Electro Shot. Ninetales, the perfect switch in on this first turn for Stefan.
Yeah, so this is looking pretty bad for Jonathan already. You're in a spot where Electro Shot is locking you in to Electro Shot right now on the next turn. On top of that, both these Pokemon can Protect. It didn't go off in one turn because the snow got activated. And this Ninetales can just Encore you the next turn into an Electro Shot and make it so it's not doing any damage on the field with these Protects. And it's going down to the Perish Song. Well, Politoed here is stuck with, you know, Encored into Weather Ball of the wrong type.
Yeah, not too useful here is the Weather Ball going to go into the Protect on Gengar. Electro Shot will come out this turn, and it's into that Ninetales, what was the Incineroar slot originally. So Stefan pretty comfortable with at least taking that Electro Shot onto the Ninetales as the Perish counter falls to 2 for every Pokemon on the field. You do, of course, now have the opportunity to Encore the Archaludon this turn into that another Electro Shot, and you know, for Gengar, if the Archaludon is in the charge turn of Electro Shot, if the Politoed is just clicking the Ice-type Weather Ball, you're not really threatened by anything. You can go ahead and just get a little bit of damage on the field, maybe just click a couple more Protects if you feel like it. There's nothing that they really need to do offensively for the Gengar, and yes, it is just going to be another Protect here. It will fail, you know, it always has just a 1 in 3 chance of success for the Protect in 2 turns in a row.
Yeah, just trying to mitigate as much damage as possible, but you know, it's not going to work out. You were less likely to get a third one, and I mean, you're guaranteed to get a third now, so, I mean, I believe it's actually the switch out turn next turn.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to just stay on the field
No.
and protect. With Perish counter falling to 1, at the end of next turn, any Pokemon still on the field will faint. Of course, with the Shadow tag, Arcaladon's still stuck on the field, Politoed's still stuck on the field. Stefan does have the option to just switch out both of his Pokemon now. You know, you'd have to take, with one of them, the +2 Electro Shot, and with another, the Ice-type Weather Ball, but I think that's more than worth it to take 2 guaranteed KOs this turn, as it will be Gengar switching into the Incineroar, and I'd imagine, no, Ninetales actually just going for Disable, willing to take this feint on the Ninetales to make sure that no additional damage comes out onto Stefan's side of the field, trading 2 for 1, essentially.
Yeah, the Ninetales was already low. It did its job of, you know, once these Pokemon were on the field, locking them out of what they wanted to do. And very intelligently of Stefan, not going for the double protect earlier when the Electro Shot was incoming, and going for the Encore into the Politoed so that Politoed wasn't able to set up a Rain Dance and allowed the Electro Shots to keep coming out from Archaladon. So making that trade of the extremely low Ninetales already, but again, a Pokemon that had already done its job, willing to go down for the rest of the team, and this Incineroar ready to go for a fake out. Gengar easily can come back in and just set up a Parasong, and I don't think that in the amount of turns available to Jonathan that he can KO these 2 Pokemon and one in the back.
No, I wouldn't say so. I'm trying to think here. You could fake out the Incineroar with your own Sneasler. The Espathra could click a Lumina Crash into the Gengar as Perish Song comes out, but the question is still then, how do you actually deal damage to whatever's in the back for Stefan? You know, especially if it's something like the Dragonite, with that multi-scale ability, it becomes really difficult to break through within those 3 turns that you have after Perish Song goes up. And then, of course, there's always the question of, does a Lumina Crash from the Espathra actually KO the Gengar from this range? But it is going to be Stefan switching the Incineroar into the Sneasler as Shadow Ball comes out into Espathra. Gengar faster and just takes the KO the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, didn't even need to play around with Parasong and potential crit, potential Dire Claw statuses, just saying, you know what? I know how much damage this is going to do to the Espathra. I'm taking it out. It's gone. And, you know, this Sneasler with Poison and Fighting typing, not really able to hit a Ghost, and definitely not able to get through 3 more Pokemon.
Certainly not. And from there, it just becomes a question of what, if you're Jonathan, can you really do differently to make this matchup a little bit easier for you? You know, you led your Politoed, your Archaladon, your pretty offensive pairing immediately, but you got trapped on the field, you lost the Weather War, there was no chance of really getting that back up. There really wasn't much that Jonathan could do once Stefan got his board control tools in play. You know, what adjustments even are there available to Jonathan's side of the field?
Absolutely. I do think one thing that he could do potentially is keep that Politoed in the back and lead something else, go for a turn 1 switch, because as we saw, Stefan switched out his Incineroar for the Ninetales, but he's going to have something slower than Incineroar to switch out so that the Politoed can come in and set its weather correctly. Not to mention the fact that even if that does happen, Stefan doesn't necessarily have to go to that Ninetales right away. And if he doesn't, well, now the Politoed's stuck on the field. The Ninetales can still come in. So it's a real order of events that needs to happen for Jonathan. And on top of that, there's just no Pokemon on this team that I see that's handling Gengar right away. You know, there's no Kingambit, there's no Garchomp. It's just Gengar.
Yeah, it's just Gengar. You have, of course, the only move to hit it super effectively is that Psychic-type Lumina Crash from Espathra. But that will not be led. It's going to be just the same leads for both of our trainers, Incineroar and Gengar into Archaladon and Politoed. You have to imagine a slightly different turn of events here for Jonathan. It could be the Politoed switching out immediately, try to get that speed boost on the Espathra to make it a little bit more threatening on turn 2. If anything, I think definitely not an Electro Shot from the Archaladon because of Stefan's willingness to switch the Ninetales in like he showed in Game 1.
It could also very well just be a Rain Dance from the Politoed. that would, prevent the weather from being overwritten. I believe the Politoed, as I've seen in prior matches, was faster than the Archaladon, so you would be able to get that up before it goes. But we aren't going to see any switches here, as we do just see Gengar Mega Evolve. Incineroar goes for the Fake Out into the Archaladon, giving it the +1 defense boost, but, not something that Stefan really cares about with these Pokemon on the field, as Parasong is just going to come out on to the field, and this Incineroar has plenty of pivot potential, while Politoed just goes for the Rain Dance, like I had mentioned, predicting the Ninetales to come in, and that's not what happens.
No, and now we have the Parasong set up, Shadow Tag trapping all Pokemon on the field. At this point, we're just in the same position as we were. Certainly, assuming the Politoed and the Archaladon are faster than the Incineroar on Stefan's side, you can at least threaten some damage into that Pokemon, but there is always the option for the Incineroar to just protect here alongside the Gengar. Or, the classic Paras Trap play of switching Gengar out and clicking Parting Shot with your Incineroar to just get it right back on the field at the same turn, so that you reset that Parish counter for it. It's just really, really difficult. It certainly is a better turn 2 position than game 1 for Jonathan, but it is just going to look like the double protect option. No, a Weather Ball into the Incineroar.
Not enough to get that KO, but certainly close. And even if a double up comes into the slot, let's say the Archaladon does get the Electro Shot into the correct slot here, the Incineroar. Yeah, Incineroar's off the field, but you're still locked on the field with this Gengar in the Parasong. And yes, you're one Pokemon down. That's good, but no, it just goes into the Gengar, which means Incineroar is going to be able to get off the field here and get the Archaladon back to neutral special attack.
Yeah, for Jonathan, it does make sense wanting to split your damage there, trying to just get something positive out of that turn, but you kind of take away the option of actually taking a knockout on either Pokemon. You would need to use Weather Ball plus something like the Electro Shot on either one of them to get that knockout for the Gengar or the Incineroar, but now we're just in a position where Stefan can click another Fake Out, can keep the Gengar safe for one more turn at least, and even with as cute as this Politoed's looking on the screen right now, I just don't think it's going to have all the damage that it needs to actually deal with this Gengar or with the Sneasler.
Yeah, absolutely not. Sneasler just going to be able to Fake Out the Archaladon and, not take nearly enough damage on this turn. Politoed can throw out that Weather Ball, go into the Gengar, and if it's lucky, maybe get some good damage on the board, but we just see the Icy Wind, which is not what you needed to do if you're Jonathan there. You really need to come out with a tough swing, and yeah, you lowered their speeds, but you have a Pokemon, Gengar, that's right about to switch out, and Sneasler, I mean, it can stay in, and it's -1, but that's not the Pokemon you needed to get the damage on.
No, not quite. I mean, if nothing else, the Sneasler very likely to just stay on the field and protect this turn. With no Parish counter on it right now, the Gengar almost certainly will be switching out this turn into probably the Incineroar. I was thinking the 4th Pokemon, if it's a Ninetales, could make an appearance here, but the Incineroar going to hit the field pretty low health. Oh, the Sneasler will switch out. This is the Ninetales coming out onto the field, and now we will have weather control for the rest of the game until the Rain Dance from Politoed. A very good call, similar to the play that Jonathan was trying to make in turn 1 of this game. The Rain Dance plus Electro Shot now finally gets this to pay off, and we'll at least get some damage onto the field here. It will go into the Ninetales, and into the Incineroar, and knock out that Pokemon. So you end up in a similar position as game 1, where you do trade 2 for 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, I think you're banking on the Espathra to do the amount of damage you need. Incineroar's down, so psychic damage on the field is good. I don't think it's going to be enough to KO a Gengar. It could definitely take out the Sneasler at this point, and it is chipped. So if you are able to get to the +1 speed, start out speeding things, maybe there's a little bit of a chance. But it all depends on, how these Pokemon are trained and if you can get the amount of damage you need with these Lumina Crashes.
Yeah, if nothing else, the Rain Dance there and knocking out Incineroar on the switch-in does give Jonathan a little bit of momentum here. This is not exactly the position that you want to be in if you are Stefan. You know, the Gengar has a little bit of damage on it already. Potentially is in range of a Lumina Crash from the Espathra. I would think probably not. Typically, you know, these Gengars on the Perish Song teams are going to be trained a little bit more in their HP or in their special defense. So we will see the Ninetales switch back out here into Sneasler.
Exactly, and the Sneasler going in here is really smart because basically the only way I can see for a win would be for the Espathra to just go for a Protect and get the speed boost. But, well, Espathra actually just going for the Calm Mind here, knowing, you know, I have to get Stefan on the wrong call here and go for the Calm Mind. Now we're in a position where the Sneasler's asleep. It can't fake out, it can't wake up. And Espathra at +1 probably can take out that Gengar. But the question is, with the 3 turns available, can Jonathan get that damage out effectively?
Oh, now with
things are interesting now.
This is quite interesting. You know, you do have, with the +1 boost on the Espathra, should be enough to knock out the Gengar with the Lumina Crash. Should definitely be enough to knock out the Sneasler from this range. The issue is, it's really just, can Stefan get through this turn without losing too much? You know, of course, if all 3 Pokemon, let's say the Espathra, the Sneasler, and the Gengar, are all left on the field at the end of this game, I think we've seen the Gengar is faster than the Sneasler. So if all Pokemon are Perish trapped at the end of the game, the slowest Pokemon is the one that wins. As Lumina Crash goes into the Sneasler on this turn, no Protect coming out from Stefan's Gengar. We'll see it get some damage onto the field most likely, and it is the Shadow Ball going into the Espathra. Not enough for the one-hit KO with the special defense boost. Does get the drop on its special defense, so back down to neutral now as Citrus Berry will bring it a little bit higher, and another Dire Claw comes out. It's mostly ineffective, and
no
it does
status.
not have a secondary effect.
So here we are in a position where a Ninetales is coming out onto the field, I believe at full HP, gets the Snow out, so it is going to have the boosted defense to possibly survive a Sneasler Dire Claw. But Stefan having to go for Protects here and possibly having to get a double Protect depending on how much damage can be put out here. Not only that, but having to deal with Dire Claw's potential status conditions coming out, there is still a way for Jonathan to claw this one back.
Yes, it's really just which of Stefan's Pokemon will, if either, will protect this turn. It's the Gengar choosing to protect. Will we see the Ninetales follow suit? And it will.
Okay.
A Protect from the Ninetales, so now this comes down on the next turn. Will the Ninetales be able to get the double Protect? You'd imagine that the Lumina Crash plus a Dire Claw into that Ninetales should be enough to take it out in the rest of this game. You know, as we mentioned, because the Sneasler is slower than the Gengar, Jonathan, if he's able to knock out the Ninetales on this turn, and if the Sneasler does still remain on the field, Jonathan will win this game.
Yeah.
By virtue of the speed tiers.
Yeah. So this is really crazy. Stefan... This is a really interesting one. I'm trying to think it all through because, you know, Ninetales, I believe, unable to get the Protect here. If the Lumina Crash goes into the Ninetales here, and it does, and the Dire Claw double up, if it can get the KO, Gengar is going to be the first Pokemon KO'd, but Shadow Ball goes into the Sneasler, not going to be nearly enough for the KO. Oh my god, I thought it was going to activate the Unburden boost and make Sneasler faster. That would have been crazy, but
it is Focus Sash.
It's Focus Sash. So Stefan's Perish Song here is going to take it out just after this Espathra, and Sneasler is going to be the last Pokemon remaining on the field.
Wow.
That Dire Claw, 10% sleep chance on that Sneasler, not being able to fake out, sealing this one up for Jonathan. Just a little bit of RNG went a long, long way there.
Yeah, and even with that Dire Claw sleep, you still have to navigate those last couple of turns correctly. It's getting the Calm Mind up on the Espathra to make it that offensive threat now. It's targeting correctly into the Sneasler to take that Pokemon out. And for Stefan, I was a little curious on the targeting on that Shadow Ball. On the turn he targeted the Espathra, it could have been a Shadow Ball into the Sneasler that turn. We saw it's more than enough to two-hit KO the opposing Sneasler. Of course, with the Focus Sash item, you would always need at least 2 hits in order to knock that Pokemon out. But if you then take that damage onto the Sneasler instead, with the Espathra getting speed boost, it's going to end up going faster than your Gengar. You then put Jonathan into the position where he needs the double protect on the Sneasler at the end of the game, as opposed to you needing it on your Ninetales. Just adding a little bit of extra, another extra win condition there.
I think Jonathan, this is a hard matchup for Jonathan.
Oh, certainly.
He does not have a lot to take out this Gengar before it sets up Parasong, let alone get through the support pieces that are behind it. But playing to his outs in this one was, he did a very good job of that. And, sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you do need a little bit of luck. And knowing that you need that little bit of luck and leaning into it, that's the way you have to play the game. And Jonathan did that beautifully there, executing with the Dire Claw, getting the sleep that he needed, and it just working out for him. We'll see how this one shakes out in a Game 3. Are we going to see the same leads? No, actually see Jonathan's MVPs from last game come out onto the field first, while for Stefan, we see Gengar and Sneasler. I believe that's a change from games 1 and 2, where it was the Incineroar. And I'm not sure what Jonathan's going for here. Either he has to go for the offense here, and if he tries to go for any baton pass strategy, he may not know about the interaction with Parasong, and then that effect does get passed. I mean, he'll find out the hard way if that is the case, if he doesn't know. But if he does, I'm kind of liking this lead. You can go for a Protect with the Espathra. We did see that one Shadow Ball at neutral was enough to take out the Espathra. And here we go, June.
Yeah, I think a lot of this rides on which Sneasler is going to be able to fake out first as well. Both of them have the Focus Sash item, both of them have speed boosting stat alignments, and it's a fake out from Stefan Sneasler into Espathra, moving just before Jonathan's into Stefan Sneasler. Will break at least Stefan Sneasler's Focus Sash, but winning the potential speed tie on Stefan's side, getting the Espathra to flinch, very, very crucial in not letting Espathra for Jonathan do anything. Could have been a Lumina Crash to just take out Stefan Sneasler right away. Could have been the Calm Mind we were talking about. But no, now with the Parasong setup, things looking very, very solid, at least in this early game for Stefan. Will switch out immediately, goes into this Incineroar just to give a little bit more pressure here on the upcoming turn.
Yeah, and very bold not to go for a Protect on that Espathra. Had that just been a Shadow Ball, it would have been lights out, I think. But we do see the switch to Incineroar, gonna reset the tempo of these fake outs on these Pokemon. Close combat, though, going into the Incineroar, and without that White Herb, not going to be able to pick up the KO. Even without the White Herb, it looks like that was not going to be a favorable roll. Citrus Berry going to heal that Incineroar back up. Again, fake out pressure on the field. Lumina Crash cannot affect this Incineroar. It can definitely impact this Gengar, though. So what we'll likely see is that fake out into the Espathra. Gengar probably can just go for an attack and try to clear out that Espathra, but probably not wanting to go for a double protect here, because if it does succeed in that, it's going to have a harder time protecting next turn when it doesn't have a safe fake out.
Yes, I was thinking it could even be the fake out into the Espathra. Well, no. I was going to say it could be a fake out into the Espathra and you can switch out to Sneasler, but that just breaks your trap altogether. There's no real point in doing that. Is fake out to the Espathra and protect Gengar as close combat comes back out into the Incineroar again. After the Citrus Berry, healing a little bit of HP from the first close combat. Incineroar does survive this follow-up, and now Perish counters falling to 1 across the board. Will let at least Stefan take 2 more KOs to start this game, but looking like, with as low as the Incineroar is on HP at this current moment, that he will have to trade at least 1 Pokemon for taking these 2 KOs with Parasong.
Yeah, so amendment to what I said on going for the double protect with fake out. The Perish turns were counting down. Gengar was switching out this turn. Didn't matter if the double protect came out or not. I mean, helped that it did, so.
I mean, he went for the double protect in that position each of the 3 games thus far. As Baton Pass comes out for Espathra, and this may be where we do see that interaction.
This might have actually been the smartest possible choice, recognizing that Espathra's offense is what was needed in this case. Getting Politoed in here is going to allow Rain to go on the field, and Politoed's just going to go down. This Espathra hasn't taken a lot of damage. I think it took some fake out chip, and it's going to be able to come back in and be an offensive threat again.
Yeah, so the Politoed will come in just for the Espathra. He gets handed the baton, and I guess he didn't know it was quite in that baton when he got past it. But now 2 KOs for Stefan, 1 for Jonathan, as Sneasler hits the field on Stefan's side, resets fake out pressure, Gengar comes right back out, and it's the Espathra. And we'll see, is it the Arcaludon one more time? It is, as the 4th and final Pokemon on Jonathan's side. I was wondering if we would see, switch up into something like the Mega Scovillain for a little bit more burst damage immediately. But no,
possibly a Moody boost.
Possibly a Moody boost that can always tilt the tides of these kinds of games. But no, still sticking with the same 4, and giving yourself a little bit more optionality with that Espathra here late in this game again.
Yeah. So do you just go for the Protect here? I think you have to in the face of the Gengar, otherwise Shadow Ball is just going to take you down. But Stefan also has to be careful not to take too much damage from the Archaludon, as we do see a fake out into the Espathra and a Perish Song once again. So based on this, we'll see what the Archaludon goes for. It is going to be a Flash Cannon into the Sneasler, and it is going to do a good chunk of damage, but not take it out there, possibly expecting the Ninetales to switch in and get 1-hit KO'd, but that would have just reset fake out pressure, so, you never know what you're signing up for. Espathra getting the speed boost here, as we said, probably not going to be enough to take out the Gengar, not to mention the fact that Espathra is getting a little low. Can it take a Dire Claw right here? Is Gengar going to go for a Protect? You have to set up the Calm Mind right here to be able to get enough damage on the board, but how are you going to... I think it's just sealed up right now,
I think you're
as the Pokemon in back can just Protect.
Yeah, you just protect both Pokemon here. You can let them go down this turn if need be, but if you're Stefan, you have one more Pokemon in the back that is going to be able to protect and seal this game up for you. I think this is completely locked up from the Perish practitioner's side of things.
Yeah, for sure. Unless there's a move I don't know about that can KO Pokemon through other Pokemon, this Gengar would have to go down, and whatever Pokemon's in back for Stefan would also have to take damage. Don't think they've made that move yet.
Well, if you Flash Cannon a Ghost, you're shooting, what, light through a Ghost?
I don't know.
It feels like it should be able to go through and hit that Ninetales in the back, presumably the Ninetales in the back. Of course, we haven't even yet seen the 4th Pokemon for Stefan.
We have not
played in this Game 3, even with the tricks that Jonathan has thrown out, just a very, very principled Perish Song Game 3, as not getting either of these double protects for Stefan should not matter all that much. The Lumina Crash coming out in the Gengar, and even at +1, actually, still is not enough for the 1-hit KO on the Gengar. Might be a damage range that Stefan is aware of. Electroshock comes out here. Will be able to take a KO onto one of these 2 Pokemon that wasn't able to land the double protect, and so we will at least get confirmation on the 4th and final Pokemon on Stefan's side.
We will. As Sneasler is going to go down here, and Espathra, Gengar, and the Archaludon are going to be on their final turns of the Perish counter, but that does not matter in the face of whatever was in back. The back Pokemon, no matter what it was, would have had access to that Protect. The Dragonite, the Kingambit, the Sneasler, all that Stefan needed to do was click that Protect button, and it was sealed up. The Perish Song would have taken out the Archaludon and the Sneasler, and just with a horrific song, Stefan taking out all of Jonathan's Pokemon like that, and winning here at Balance Patch.
Yeah, the first friendly tournament here at Balance Patch in Pokemon Champions goes to Stefan Mott. Feels pretty likely as far as New England local events go in Pokemon VGC.
Absolutely.
And really, I think the story of the day was all of the interesting strategies that we saw. You know,
Yeah.
of course, there were a lot of unique Pokemon, a lot of really fun teams out there in the field today, a lot that we got to feature on stream as well. But the most successful teams in our tournament today, very, very focused and polished on specific win conditions, whether it was the Parish Song, whether it was the Calm Mind Baton Pass, whether it was things like your own weather control. We saw rain teams pop up all over the place, a Frostlass in top 4.
Yep.
You know, there are all kinds of things that can go into this format that people are calling, stale or unfun or, all kinds of things. There's still ways to find your own fun in this format, and I hope we showed you that just a little bit in our stream today.
Absolutely agree. I think that a lot of people are upset with the amount of variance that can occur in this format. You have Pokemon with fast rock slides. You have Sneasler's Dire Claw, which is less variance than it used to be.
But we did see still activate in this
We
finals.
did. We saw Moody Boost activate. There is variance, but the best players are finding ways to control that variance to the best of their abilities. And I think that's the beauty of Pokemon.
It's all of the strategies. It's not just playing against your opponent, not just playing against the Pokemon in the field. It's playing against the math behind everything.
Absolutely.
And what they say, Jake, numbers never lie.
No, the numbers don't lie.
And the
Something
numbers are
about
showing us-
143% chance to win.
Oh.
Your 8% chance to win.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
It was the anniversary of that the other day.
Oh, was it?
Which was very exciting for me. Yeah, it popped up on my little Instagram reels. But either way, numbers do never lie, and they show us today that Stefan Mott is the #1 trainer here at Balance Patch for our event. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to Jonathan on a fantastic run. We got to see a lot of it in Top Cut here too. I think, I've said just about all I need to. I don't know if you had any other closing remarks.
I'm all good.
But thank you all so
ready to
much
go
for
home.
spending the day with us. It's been quite a long one, but we are happy to be here and happy to send you off with a good night. We'll see you again later.
Oh, we're going to do an
Yeah,
interview?
we're going to do an interview. Really?
Who's doing the
He's
interview?
He's going to feed his dog.
Paper, scissors for it.
How about Andrew does it?
You want me to do it?
Yeah?
I mean, shoot.
No, I just want to leave.
Okay, I was going to offer to do it if that...
Oh, June, you can do it. Go
like,
for it.
If he wants to.
Sorry, I thought you
I
wanted
do-
to go too.
No, I do want to go,
Okay.
but I can do an interview with my friend Stefan. I do want to be on this side. The lighting's better for me on this side, so.
You don't care about what my good side is?
What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I ever gave you the impression of that.
Jesus.
But Stefan, congratulations. A pretty back and forth set. It's certainly a lot more happened in that set than I would expect.
That's
Wow,
fair. That's
Parrish.
fair. I thought Jonathan
Really
played it really
does.
well. The matchup's very bad. I only lost game 2 because of the Dire Claw sleep, but like, it's a very, very difficult matchup for the Espathra player. I'm very glad that we got to see Baton Pass past the Parish.
Yeah.
That is my favorite little mini mechanic of this matchup. I actually didn't know that was a thing until right before round 1 of Indy, because I was like, wait, it's a non-volatile status condition. Does Parish get passed by Baton Pass? This is after like a week of me just never bringing Gengar into a Espathra, 'cause I'm like, why would I do that?
Turns out it works out pretty
Turns
well.
out it works pretty well, yeah.
Yeah. So can you speak to a little bit more of your run today? I think you finished undefeated throughout the Swiss rounds, undefeated through Top Cut.
Kinda. Top Cut was weird. I lost to Zach because Zach is my locals demon, but he also wanted to leave. So that worked. And then I didn't play a top 4 because KD saw the pairing and left.
Okay.
I played KD in Swiss. And KD, if you're watching this back, I don't think the matchup's that bad for you. I just got the leads right both games, man. He really thought he had no matchup, so he was like, I'm going to save some time, I'm going to leave. And I'm like, it's not really my job to tell you that the matchup's kind of weird for me, so I'm just going to let you go.
That's fair. Hey, and we'll take it because you got yourself one of those play mats.
I did. I
Looking
really,
for it.
as soon as they started giving those to VG, I really wanted one of those playmats. I just found a nice little section of wall in my office that is just long enough to, like, make for a very nice little location for a bunch of playmats. And I need to go win more playmats, but this helps.
This is a good start at least.
Yes.
To that wall. Do you know which one you're taking?
The Venu. So I like the color scheme of the Venu one a little bit more. The other one is a little bit more screams Pokemon fan a little bit too much.
I was gonna say I like
Like
Gardevoir on
Lucario,
that,
Mega
but-
Lucario, Mega Gardevoir, Mega Absol. It's like,
Yeah.
let's tone it down just a smidge.
I mean, some of us do like this game, Stefan. I
Yeah.
hate to break it to you.
I can't believe it.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Now, looking ahead, of course, this was just a friendly tournament, no championship points on the line, but I think the second biggest tournament of the year, only behind the World Championships.
After
North
this
America,
one.
After this one,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, this is
It's-
the most
sorry,
important.
it's
Well,
New
after the
England
NEI,
Invitational.
yeah.
Yeah, New England Invitational, balance patch friendly. I think NAIC.
No,
and
Monterey
Worlds.
is a higher.
That's so
Yeah, the
true.
Monterey Regional is a very, very high profile event.
That's
A
true.
little bit higher than NAIC, I think.
But
But
looking forward
yeah.
to NAIC, of course, we saw a lot of sameness. By Jake, we saw a lot of sameness in the top 12 usage
Yeah.
at Indianapolis. We saw a little bit of spice come out of
Yeah,
the
a
Toronto
little
special
more than you
event.
would have thought coming.
As for a
And we saw
European regional-
nothing out of Japan. Like we saw some cool clips out of Japan, but like, given what we normally see from JP Nats, if the Japanese have given up, it is a dire sign of the end times. So,
So how does that feel then? Preparing for NAIC, is the thought bringing something that you're very confident in, something very comfortable with? Do you think that people are just hiding all of their best ideas for this
I think
big
this format
tournament?
sucks and nobody wants to build in it. So,
Yes.
I mean, it's NAIC, so people will. But I mean, nobody likes it. Everyone is struggling in the builder. So if it sucks to build, then why build? Just take a team from day one that top forward the Grand Champions Festival and use it for 2 months.
That's certainly a pretty valid strategy, and I think we've seen a lot of success come through for players like that. Of course, the Mega Charizard Y and the Floette winning in the Indianapolis Regional. And then Parish Song actually winning the Turn Special event.
Yeah, the Marco build's interesting. I'm kind of a Como hater. I think I actually really like Boyd's Como, where he dropped Aura Sphere for Drain Punch, which, like, if you think about it, do you really need the special damage? Like, I feel like you don't. Like, I kind of like the Drain Punch angle.
I think it's pretty effective in like the Arcalodons if you're trying to.
Yeah,
hit
that's true.
those,
But you can always just clanging scales them twice,
You can
right?
clang them pretty effectively, yeah. But looking forward to NAIC, is there any hope for people like me who are just trying to have a good time, trying to play this game that we love, trying
June.
to enjoy ourselves?
June. Mega Altaria's not good.
No, but it's Mega Gardevoir now. I'm clicking Hyper Voice with the
That
different
one's
Pokemon.
good. That one's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
I will be clicking Pixelate Hyper Voice, but I'll use a better Pokemon.
Then yes.
Okay.
Yes. Don't bring Lucario, and we're good.
Okay. I told you it was in the builder.
In fairness, as New England's most optimistic builder, is there anything that hasn't been in your builder?
It hasn't been in the builder. I'm going to be so for real, Floette has not been in the builder. I think that's like the one good Mega, and it's solely because I refuse to play Legends ZA as much as you
Valid.
need to in order
Extremely
to get
valid.
that
No, that's
Pokemon.
so valid. You're so valid for that.
I just don't have the time. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to enjoy Pride Month. I do not have the time to be playing 25 rounds of the Infinite Royale. Like, that's
Extremely fair. Super fair.
And I got a fairy type on my side with spread moves that can also one-hit KO Sneasler. So I'm pretty okay with that.
So can Light of Ruin.
Yeah, but don't take recoil.
Me when I Light of Ruin to get rid of a Sneasler. Yeah.
Me when
Yeah.
I miss Light of Ruin and don't get rid of a Sneasler.
Me when I miss Light of Ruin and die.
Me when I hit Light of Ruin and die.
Yeah, fair.
it
You know,
goes both
I've
ways,
always
right?
been I've been a day one Light of Ruin hater. And Light of Ruin hating stocks up.
They're pretty up.
Thank you, Nick Navarre.
But Stefan, anyone you want to thank? Any shout-outs or any closing thoughts?
Thank you to Siddharth and Santino for building a team on day one that I could just spam for 2 months with my brain off and not go into the builder. And thank you, Pikachu, for making this format way shorter than any format should be. But like this one, thank you for not making us play it for longer. Just big shout outs to Daddy Pikachu for that.
That's awesome. I love the positivity.
Oh
coming
yeah,
from
no,
the side
I'm
of
just a
the
positive
bench.
guy.
Yeah.
Just a
I can see
very
that.
positive guy, especially when it comes to this regulation.
I was gonna say, talking to you and Jake all day has really been a joy for me. I'm doing everything I can.
I'm so excited to play regulation MB.
Regulation, but I'm pretty excited for
I,
it.
it can't be worse.
Yeah. I'm hoping for some new Pokemon. They can take some of them. Honestly, take our Basket Legions, take the Sneaslers. I don't need those guys. But give us Assault Vest. That's pretty much it.
Give Milo Keyberry.
Give specifically Milo to keep.
Yeah, only Milo.
Only Milo. Yeah. But thank you all so much. Thank you, Stefan. Congratulations, of course, for winning
Thank you
the
for
most
casting.
high-profile event.
The most high-profile event of the
in
year. This is
world.
bigger than Worlds.
That's way bigger.
No, I
than
mean like
Worlds.
39 people at BP.
That's what I'm saying. It's
I
pretty
mean,
big.
the BP Kitchen. Worlds doesn't have that.
Oh my goodness, the world does not have the Balance Patch
No.
Kitchen. But thank you all for staying with us again for this pretty long day. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And thank you so much.